Well, I'm Alan Dale from GaleForceWins, and I want to tell you what a wonderful day I'm having here. Day 2 with the good people here at Keyin College. They are finding a better way altogether. Everybody in the conversation, everybody sharing ideas. They know that if they're making things better, the students have a better experience, and that's what it's all about. It's so wonderful to see people continuously improve and everybody know that they're being heard. And on that note, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Hi, I'm Loretta. I'm the Director of Administration for Keyin College for 22 years.
22 years, Director of Administration now. Talk to me about what the Director of Administration does.
I work very closely with all the instructors and students too, because we can't be one without the other. You know, we're married, right? And we're compatible and there's a synergy. But, you know, and over the years to see the growth and the change and all the positive vibes and where we need to be in industry. You know, the growth has come in the last, the largest growth in the last 5 to 6 years, and it's contagious.
Right.
So to be working with instructors, and we have a very long-term staff, who've been with us a long time, and we have all these new students joining us, 80%, I would think, online. So we need to be where we need to be, present.
Right.
Present.
You know, Keyin has a great way of sort of breaking down all the barriers for students when they enter into the education system. There's many reasons why somebody might think that they can't do it or whatever, financial or otherwise. Keyin's got a great ability to break down the barriers. Talk to me about the importance of having those sort of services at the very beginning that welcome people in.
Oh, it's just amazing. And I'm going to be entering into a great timing, by the way, a new position, Director of Student Services. So the overall umbrella. So from the first point of contact, when that email or phone call is made, the tone in the voice, the attitude, and how we actually open up the campus and the journey, the education journey to our students has to be impeccable.
Right.
We can't miss a beat. Education for a lot of students, like just recently, you know, a single mom reached out to me. She was struggling. Another student got a new laptop and didn't know how to get on the right time zone. We get asked every day with all these questions. So we must be available, present, and stay calm, and always be there for the student. Yes, we have other duties and responsibilities, but when it comes down to the student, you know, we have to meet them where they are. And that's very important, so, yeah.
Another thing that I find fascinating about Keyin is that you put instructors in front of the students, whether virtual or in the classroom, that come with real experience. These folks have done the business. And they're educating that next generation, very passionate about what they do. Talk to me about the importance of the instructors having that experience.
That has to be one of the highlights. And I've often said this when I go and I speak to groups. I'm a past president of Chamber of Commerce, chair of a hospital board, Foundation Hospital Board on the Beyond Peninsula. And when I look at Keyin and what we're doing there for our students, and when they come in, like when we look at the whole mental health journey and the wellness, and when they're online, when we hire our instructors, okay, they have to be approved through the Department of Education. There's a protocol, so we highly respect that, and we have to. But when we talk to our students and there's instructor evaluations due, you know, we let them know you're actually going to have an instructor now who's going to come to you with years of experience. They're not just going to walk out of university or college. You have to meet criteria, you know, 6 years of experience plus. They're going to be the best storytellers in the classroom, because they're bringing experience. Those are the stories that the students will never forget.
Right.
Long after they exit Keyin, they will remember that story when someone was out on the workforce, and it could be an occupational health and safety student or a digital office, you know, administrator, and they hear that voice in their head again about my instructor telling me the story of how they dealt with the situation. So we're passing along that knowledge, but it's so valuable to the student, because we have to understand our students. You know, we do have an age group, but we're attracting all different age groups now, and mostly the younger student also. So they're coming in with expectations and entitlement.
Right.
This is 2024, so we have to be able to deliver, and in a very professional way, but also the engagement from the student has to be there. We have to engage our students online. We have to be very creative, innovative, and how we can do that.
And it's through this process that you're able to put out the other end people that are ready to go to work.
Absolutely.
They're workforce ready, meeting the needs of communities, societies, industry, governments, meeting the needs right at the right time. Talk to me about the importance of making that student ready to go into the workforce.
Oh, it's very important. We just formed a partnership with ELA Career Hub, Learning Hub, through National Careers Association, NAC, and I'm involved in the delivery of that online and working with the partners, and it's phenomenal because they're doing their cover letters and resume, but it's geared to their field of study. So a resume for, you know, an occupational health and safety versus a personal care attendant is going to speak differently to the workforce. We also encourage our instructors to bring in industry speakers, no matter what the program. So it's very important that, you know, if you're in a program where you're going to be going into health, that you have that networking already built. And so that responsibility is back on us at administration to make sure our instructors are doing that. But can you imagine as a student, you're sitting there and you get a class where you're going to bring in the speaker, and I remember doing it years ago, and they went through like a mock interview, and the students were very, you know, very enlightened, because we had some I remember this particular class was 32, and they were very high, it was a very high academic group, but some had some attitudes.
Right.
So we had to work on it, and that was the conversation afterwards. You can be best academic in class, but when you go out to industry, these are the three things they're looking for.
Right. It's some of those things that are often referred to as soft skills, the ability to communicate and work effectively within teams.
And it's so important because when you're going to go out into the health field, you know, you confidentiality, you know, you're not going to be too out there over the top. So, you know, you have to have the right attitude. And when you're in your field of study, it's not a sensitive topic, but it has to come together. So by bringing in the industry speakers, we are better preparing our graduates for when they exit to go into the market, making sure that resume was top notch. You know, you get bragging rights as a grad. So.
Talking about bringing in those industry speakers, the other thing that I find fascinating about Keyin is that they pay close attention to industry needs. They understand where trends are going, where the workforce is going, where people are going to be needed, and then they fashion programs to meet that. So they're not just educating people that aren't going into the ether, but they're meeting the needs. How do you close that loop? How do you stay in touch so closely with your partners that are going to be eventual employers?
It's industry engagement again. I mean, we're just not a college, you know, a satellite college. We are out there. We're feet on the ground. We're involved, and we look to all of our staff, and especially our administration staff, as ambassadors to the college, to our students. Everything that we do will trickle down to our students. So that's very important when we talk about volunteer work and everything. You know, but when you look at, and it came up in our meetings yesterday, so we are accredited in dental and hairstyling and, you know, the pharmacy tech program. So how do we better prepare those grads? So it came up where the curriculum got changed. It was changed because it's a provincial Red Seal program, and barbering was removed. And we'd like to see it back because now more and more with how the world is going and self-care and well-being, men are, you know, looking to go back to barbers. And so that technique skill needs to be included again.
Right.
So we go back to the department, we work with industry, and we can do a micro-credential in barbering.
Wow.
So you don't need to do the whole year course. You can come in and do a barbering micro-credential.
You've been around Keyin for a couple of decades now. What does Keyin mean to you?
Oh, on a personal level, everything, growth, humbleness, gratefulness, I can't thank them enough. Empowering, I will use the word empowering. I've been with some great organizations over the years, international. I was long-term with another international organization, but I find at Keyin, from Craig to Steve to Jennifer, you're empowered. And you know that says everything. From a professional point of view, is what we're doing for our students. I have someone call me, she's the queen of student services. I would never forget where we started from the student. And you know, as Gwen Tucker always say, you take care of the student will take care of you. Absolutely, 200% true. And I don't mean that like, you know, it's humbling, modest, but academically, professionally, respectfully. These young students and mature students are coming in our doors. There's a reason. What is the program that they choose to change their career? But we have to appreciate from a mature student's point of view too. And when we look at the dynamics of our age group and the demographics, when someone has a major career shift in their life, it's a very scary time. It's a very scary time. Yeah, it can be discouraging. And, how do I pay my bills? And I was good at this, and now I got to learn new skills. I'm not going to be able to do that. And so we kind of helped them through that whole process of, how we onboard our students.
Yeah.
So it's very important that all the way through the educational journey, we always stay in contact. We listen. We don't have to agree all the time, but we listen and help get to the next step.
You say you're grateful for Keyin College. That's what you just told me. I can bet Keyin College is grateful for you.
I love it. I love the people there. And again, the organization, the roots. I think we look at our, the roots of who we are when it goes back to Ralph and Gwen, and we see them at our AGMs and conferences, and they're present. I think, look, we had Dr. Walling yesterday and talking about, physical health. What does it mean? And I think whatever industry you're in today, and especially education, we teach these programs. We have 2 or 3 programs that involves health.
Right.
So we can't hide from that. We need to be out there promoting it and be very transparent about this.
Absolute pleasure to be in conversation with you. Thank you.
Thank you.